All right, welcome to episode 1 of the Buzzline. I'm Mr. Beans.
And I'm Miss Hedger.
We are doing a video cast since we are on distance learning, and we thought this would be a fun way to connect with everybody and kind of give a couple updates. Miss Hedger, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Got to catch up on some Netflix shows, some Hulu. Been trying to learn to cook, actually.
Okay,
That's been pretty entertaining.
well, miracles do happen.
They do.
Let's be honest. This is kind of, first off, I'm wearing headphones because my daughter is napping, and if she wakes up, my wife will yell at me. Let's be honest. This is kind of a peculiar, weird situation we are in.
Very.
I don't think anyone has ever really experienced anything like this. And I think, I'll be honest, before we left for spring break, I never would have thought, they'd be talking about not going back to school. So
Neither.
I will admit I am currently in pajamas, a hoodie and sweatpants. So I'm not upset about that part, but it is weird not being able to see you guys and see the kids.
I agree with that. I definitely thought that we would be back in 2 weeks. Didn't really say bye on the last day. Just said have a good spring break.
Yeah, kind of weird. That being said, for the kids and the families and the teachers, we have been doing a lot of stuff to get ready for distance learning. We're learning new technologies. We're trying new things. We're making video casts, which, let's be very clear, Miss Hedger and I are not comfortable doing this, but we thought it would be kind of fun. It's extremely weird. And I know that all 3 people that actually watch it will have a fun time making fun of us. And that's okay. I'm very humble about that, especially with how I look with these headphones on. So what we're going to do, unless anything you want to add, or do you want to talk about distance learning?
Yeah, we can jump into the homepage.
Hold on. I thought of something. Some of the things we talked about with this video cast, moving forward, of what we haven't really decided how often we're going to do it. It depends on what situation with schools like, but we do want to do some fun things. We want to allow everybody to get to know the teachers a little bit more, connect with them. So we do plan on interviewing some teachers. This episode will feature, I won't even say who, a mystery guest
Surprise
at the end. So we will interview teachers maybe as much as we can. And we're all staying home and staying safe. We are going to do the video conferencing to do so. But we could do some other fun things. I'm happy to show you around my house. We could do things like that. Maybe Miss Hedger wants to cook for us one day. I don't know.
To give you a cooking lesson for sure.
So we do want to talk about school a little bit, but we also want to make this fun and keep this something interesting. So as Miss Hedger was saying, what we're going to try to do here is we're going to try to walk you through just the basics, the overview of what we're going to be using for distance learning. So I'm going to click on, you are going to see my desktop for a second, if I can get out of here.
Perfect.
Okay. Are you able to see that, Miss Hedger?
I am. That's perfect.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing that I think we kind of went in an advanced step here, but you would click schools in the corner, click Kirtland Middle School. I think if you click Kirtland High School, either way, I think it takes you to the page. If you scroll down, it says KMS, distance learning. So we were already on the Kirtland Middle School page. You click that there.
Click.
Oh, Mr. Beans, all right. You click there. On the side, you can see all the teachers' names. So you'd see Mr. Beans there. You would see Mrs. Cambaracco, Mr. Coxon. Any of the teachers that you have would be there on the left-hand side. If you click, you pick whoever. I think we picked
Let's pick
Mrs. Marco or Mr. Braddock at the top.
Yeah, let's pick Mrs. Marco. So I would find Mrs. Marco. She's down here. Boom. And that opens that up.
Perfect. So here's where you can see the class period. So the schedule that we're running, and I know that was on the last page, but you can see it here as well. We're going to start with the odd period. So 1, 3, 5, and 7. So if you have math first period, it looks like it's math 7 honors. You can see the links here that Mrs. Markle provided. So she put the Pearson link in there. She has her Schoology link, and then she has the instructions that you would need to complete. So something that's really important is that you click this attendance link, and that will be the way that we'll be able to tell that you participated and that you were present for class. So it needs to be completed every day by 3, right, Mr. Beans?
Yeah, and I'll actually click on it to show them what it looks like. It's just a Google form. Literally, it's going to automatically log in with your account. You're going to click present and participating and submit. So it's just kind of giving you guys that responsibility to let us know you're with us. Yeah, that's it.
So you need to do that every day.
So right? Every day. And this is for first period. If you have second period, first they'll have that link for that period. the times are here. Going back to the middle school page, it does show your schedule right here, and our
So we're
daily
starting
schedule.
with odd. So we're calling that the blue block, and then the evens are gold, right? Yeah.
Yep. And we understand this is new for you guys too. This is weird for us too. So we're going to
Right.
be getting used to it so just make sure you know where your resources are. And you look at Mr. Braddock's page, everyone's distance learning page may be different because, Mrs. Marco uses primarily Pearson and
Exactly.
Schoology for math class. Mr. Braddock is a big Google Classroom guy. So you have to click on your specific teacher. There will be more instructions, for each teacher. It's just important to keep aligned with your specific class. Um, this is an example. Mrs. Marco's, Schoology page, and she's very organized. So this is what Schoology will look like. Now, going back to Mrs. Marco's page, specifically, her directions here for honors. Go to Schoology, Distance Learning Unit 5. So she's going to have everything labeled for you, nice and easy to find.
Yeah.
So I think that's super helpful.
I think one thing, just because I know I thought that, so I'll just throw it out there, but it's important to remember that blue and gold, just because it's a Wednesday, doesn't mean we're on a Wednesday block schedule every Wednesday or every Thursday. So
True.
I know I thought that, so just make sure that you're checking, so that way you're not, like Wednesday 4/1, April 1st is gold, so it's technically your evens. So
It's
just
going
make
to
sure
rotate.
you're checking what class.
It's going to rotate.
Okay.
Something that just came to my mind, Ms. Hedger, one thing that will be different, now these are the distance learning pages. One thing that will be different moving forward is the use of the virtual classroom. So
Right.
very similar to what we're doing right now. We're actually using an app called Zoom, and there's another app, Google Hangouts. So we're not going to touch too much on that today, but there will be some links and some information sent out to you guys. A lot of the teachers are going to try to meet with you at least at minimum once a week in a live session. I know I'm going to be meeting with a lot of students more than once, but that's going to be new. So we're going to be having some awkward, video conferencing, which
Right.
it's fun. You get used to it. So that's going to be something coming down the pipeline for you guys so we can see you and connect with you. And it's, again, it's not all about just academics. A lot of the favorite part of our job is seeing you guys, seeing the kids. So being able to see what you're up to, answer questions, and stay connected. So please be sure to, attend all that. I did
And
want
with
to,
that, teacher,
okay.
go ahead, Mr. Beans.
Oh, no, Ms. Hedger, please, by all means.
I was just gonna say teachers have office hours, so even though your classes go from 8 to noon, we are available to you from 8 to noon, but also from noon to 3. If you have questions or if you want to say, hey, I don't get that, could you jump on a one-on-one session with me, or could we go back and forth in email? Could you maybe send me just like a little cheat sheet, or maybe send me some example problems so I could practice independently? Feel free to ask those sorts of questions during those office hours as well.
Word.
I'm not sure if that's on that page, so I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, we're definitely here to help you guys out, support you where we can. This is just an example of what a Google Classroom looks like for Mr. Braddock. So going to classwork, he's got things all situated for you by topic here. Tons of stuff using weird emojis.
Yeah.
Mr. Braddock's kind of a weird guy, so this
Those
makes sense to me.
Yeah, wow.
Look at that, China.
Wow, the panda.
Funny dude. All right, so that's kind of the basics, for that. There is something that, Ms. Hedger and I decided we should touch upon. We're most likely going to be using, we're going to be using email a lot more than usual, excuse me, because to stay in contact. So one thing that we've, kind of seen is we do need to touch up on our, what would you call it? Our
I would say email etiquette.
That's what I was going to say. Okay. All right. Email etiquette. All right. So we'll just do a very brief, simple example of maybe, how we should write an email. So Ms. Hedger, I'll let you take over and I'll type for you. How about that?
Sure. So you don't have to send it to anyone, but maybe just give them an example of how to find a teacher's last name. So you want to go to Mr. Beans, you would type Beans, just in case. I don't know how often we've used Gmail, but any teacher, you can just type in their last name and that all should appear. So the subject, I would probably give the subject about what your question is. So question about problem number 3. There you go. Math homework. Perfect. So we want to make sure that we address the teacher, not yo, hi, what's up. So we might want to say, hi, Miss Hedger. Hi, Mrs. Marco. Hi, Mr. Beans. How are you? So then we might want to put in the phrase, I was struggling with question number 3. I did not know how to carry the remainder. Do you think that you could provide some clarification?
They're not going to say provide some clarification. Can you please use cool words? Do you think you could
Um, do you
help
think
me?
you could help me? Perfect.
Clarification. Okay.
Listen, we're trying to be very professional.
I understand.
Thank you. I would sign it. I wouldn't go into a lot of detail. That's just me. That way we could help you maybe target, but that might be a good time to say, do you think maybe you could do a one-on-one? Could you provide maybe a helpful video, something of the sort that might be helpful?
And guys,
We
please
just want
notice.
to make sure that we're not just saying, yo, can you help me? I want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're addressing it.
And please notice, we're just regular font, no crazy colors, no emojis, no colors, or, nothing crazy. Just, this is pretty much what you want to call business etiquette, professional etiquette. It's just like when we talk about academic writing, just straight to the point and polite, though. I think polite's very key. Just like if we ever email you guys, we don't go, sup, forgot your homework, get it done.
Right.
We're more professional about it. And obviously you would just click send and that's it. Gmail, if you guys have not been using it a lot this year, which some people do, some people don't, it's going to be very essential moving forward with distance learning. So please, I would bookmark it, have it set up. So you could send me or Miss Hedger a sample email if you'd like, just to test it out. So we did think that was important. So anything else you want to add, Miss Hedger?
No, you didn't like my wording, so.
Yeah, I changed it up. We will not be using.
Oh, that's right.
For those who use it, we will not be using the homework boards during this time. It's just it'd be impossible to manage right now. So during distance learning, we will not be using the homework board. So you have to stay up on your specific teachers' pages on the left over here.
Right.
I just want to hand that out there for those of you who do use it and utilize it successfully. Aside from that, Miss Hedger, is there anything fun you're doing? Like there is a little bit of extra time, like at home, I can admit to you that I am spending a lot more time with my daughter. I think my daughter will be on a future video cast of the Buzzline.
Oh my goodness. She definitely should. She's cute.
She's
Have
okay.
anything fun? I mean, I've been trying to get some more exercise in, go for some walks outside, practicing social distancing. You're going to show me up here with the guitar, but
write some songs maybe. That you're not doing that at home?
I'm not. I've been trying to read. I don't get to read a lot of times during the school year, so I got some books through the library. Been trying to read online. Not as fun as you, Mr. Beans. You're way cooler than I am.
Well, you're probably way smarter than I am. So, no, it's for those of you guys who are at home, and because I'll be honest, I'm also playing some video games, and I'm sure some other people are too. There's a lot of things that are being let go for free. We're going to touch on that the next podcast, including virtual museums, virtual tours. A lot of libraries are making books, virtual books, electronic books free. That they usually didn't before. So we'll touch on that next episode. But we're going to start the transition now. Coming up, Ms. Hedger, is going to be our mystery interview.
Special guest. Yeah.
So we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Buzzline. Our mystery guest has joined us. Kelly, would you like to introduce our mystery interview?
Our mystery interview is the infamous Miss O'Donnell. Welcome,
hi, everybody. How are you?
Miss O'Donnell, I have to start with one very quick, kind of serious question. Okay. Those flowers behind you, are those real?
They are real. And you know what? My neighbor brought them over to everybody on our street 2 days ago. Yeah.
That is not social distancing.
It's not. We stayed 6 feet apart, though. She left them on my doorstep. So.
She tossed them to you.
She did, good. Yes. That's good. But aren't they beautiful? Yes.
They are. They are. Miss Hedger, do you want to ask your first question to Miss O'Donnell?
Yeah. My first question for Miss O'Donnell would be, since this is something that she always jokes about in class, have you tried any new recipes lately, or any new cooking?
I've tried a different flavor ramen noodle. That's been interesting.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Living the life.
I have been cooking a little bit more. Like we had a roasted chicken the other night and some homemade mashed potatoes. So yeah, I would definitely need a lot more time at home though to get to a point where I'm even a below average chef. It's pretty bad over here.
Are both your Are both your daughters home with all this going on?
They are, yeah.
Okay, good, good.
Yep. And we've all been it's a lot of snacks. I think
Yeah.
No,
we
always the
really better with
snacking.
snacking. Yeah. And my dogs expect it too. Like every time I get up now, they think I'm going to give them a treat because they're not used to having me home. So they
Oh,
follow me into the kitchen and back all the time.
your
So
dogs are gonna put on like 5 pounds.
I think everybody is going to do that.
I
Yeah.
already did. I already did.
Oh, for sure.
Um, Miss O'Donnell, this is Miss Hedger and I started off the video cast, whatever we're calling the buzz line. We started off by talking about how this is definitely a different situation. It's nothing we've ever experienced before,
Right.
and we're kind of learning as we go. So, coming into this distance learning, what platform are you using? What's some ideas you have? I don't know. Just talk a little bit about how you're approaching it.
Yeah, so I think the first week is going to be interesting because I think that's, depending on how everybody logs in and if, certainly people might have some tech issues and many questions. So for now, this first week, I'm probably going to stick with my Google Classroom and post some videos onto Google Classroom and keep the assignments there. The links are already up on our distance learning page, so it should be pretty easy to click on those links and then just go through the assignments that are there in Classroom, and hopefully that'll keep it pretty simple for now. And hopefully, if we can this week, I'd like to do some videos like this with our classes just so I can see everybody's faces and hear, the voices of our wonderful students because we miss them a lot. So.
Well, Kelly and Miss Hedger and I talked about in the first part, despite all this, I said, I'm still in the same pajamas I was earlier, but there's a lot of pros to this, but the reality is, even when there's some tough days, we genuinely miss seeing the kids. Like that is the best part of the job. It's the fun part of the job. And it's going to be very weird. And I would trade the pajamas to hang out with some of the kids and catch up with them. So
I would too. That's how much we love our students.
For sure. Absolutely. Ms. Hedger, I'll let you start with some. Oh, there it is. I'll let you start with some fun questions for Miss O'Donnell. You take one, and I'll take one.
A fun question for Miss O'Donnell.
Sure.
Okay, Miss O'Donnell.
Let me know, and I had no time to prepare for this.
Yep, that's the fun part.
Yeah, you just get caught off guard. It's more fun that way.
Right. Oh.
Okay, this is a fun question. You have 2 dogs, right?
Yes.
What kind of dogs are they, and what are their names?
Oh, I love that question. Okay, so our first dog is a boxer, and her name is Hazel, and she's a little crazy because she's 3 years old, so she's got a lot of energy. And my other dog is a little Yorkie named Scrappy, and he's about 11 years old, and he's just kind of a grumpy old man, but he likes his snacks and he likes his food, and that makes him happy. So those are my animals, and I love them to death. And they are right now being very lazy, just sitting on the floor on the couch right by me. So
yeah, I feel
fur babies.
What was the last video game you remember playing?
Video game? Oh, this is really embarrassing. Okay, I am not a gamer whatsoever. So the very last video game I ever played was Mario Brothers on Nintendo. I'm not even joking.
God.
Yeah. Yeah,
We need to hang out.
In our bells when the bell changes, that. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
After this podcast, we're going to start a GoFundMe and we're going to try to raise money for a video game system for Miss O'Donnell. Because my God.
So yeah, that would be wonderful. I've heard there are many. I've heard there's been advancements since Mario Brothers.
Advancements.
I heard there's been advancements.
Just a little bit.
Go ahead, Miss Hedger.
What are some of the things that you're doing for fun?
For fun, well, I've been doing a little bit of reading since we've had some extra time on our hands. Of course, watching some movies, some television here and there, and just trying to get out more, take walks, a lot more walks during the day. And like I said, with the dogs, they love to get out and go for walks. So just trying to keep busy and get outside as much as we can, and even if that's just sitting outside for a little bit. And
I know it needs to warm up. It's cold.
Yeah, it really is. So that's about it, really. Just it's been nice to kind of have a little bit more of a relaxing atmosphere, I guess, with all this. I guess we talked about that a little bit before, but this is such a change for all of us. But at least we can wear our comfy pants at home some days and be comfortable in that regard. So that's about it.
Right.
Kind of a serious one.
Okay.
If Mr. Leone was a superhero, who do you think he would be? Just
Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Like I have to pick a superhero that exists, or I have to pick
yeah, I
one
would pick one that exists. What do you think his attributes, who does he align with the most?
wow, this is a really tough one.
It is.
Why did you do this to me?
It's just fun.
It's my boss. Okay. Because he is my boss and he's I'm gonna go with, just Superman because he has been like a champ in all this. And
Safe answer. Safe answer.
And we're all going through a lot of unknowns and he's just there to support us. So there you go. You're welcome, Mr. Leone.
I agree with that. Good choice.
That was a good answer. Can I ask one more and then I'll let you have the last one, Kel?
Okay, sure.
Is that okay? Miss O'Donnell.
Mr. B.
How many tacos do you think you could eat if you had to? Like if you go to, and I'm not talking Taco Bell, if you go to Barrio,
Okay.
and no apps, no chips, nothing. How many tacos do you think you could crunch, just take down?
Soft tacos or hard tacos?
That's up to you. Because that's the best thing about Barrio is you have that choice with
Taco Supremes or just like meat cheese tortilla? That makes
Have you been to Barrio, Miss O'Donnell?
one time.
Okay.
Just one. I don't get out much,
He's
guys.
devastated now by your.
There's a lot.
Any tacos you want, Miss O'Donnell. Any tacos you want.
Okay. You see, I'm just stalling.
Yeah, it's good.
Right, it's good.
You actually answered the superhero question sooner than you're answering the taco question.
I know. You know what? I have a talent for tacos, so I would say probably
That's why I asked you.
10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Tacos. If I absolutely had to. Now, I might get food afterwards, but that's allowed, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
For
I
sure.
like these all-you-can-eat places where they say you have to eat all the food here in one sitting.
Good for you.
Right?
Good for
I don't
you.
know. If I span it out over an hour or so. I don't know. What kind of question is this?
That's a terrible question.
Oh, it is. It is.
Wait, Mr. Beans, what's
I'm
your
sorry.
number?
4.
I'll throw it right back at you.
4.
You could eat 4?
At Barrio, I eat 4 on average. Yeah.
That's the
'Cause-
maximum.
Well, yeah, it is. So my wife,
everyday average.
I order 3, and my wife would order like 2 or 3. No, she'll order 3, and then she always doesn't eat the last one. So I end up eating 4, and I feel terrible after 4, but it's so good that I can't.
And that's
help
without eating any chips or queso or salsa or anything?
Now, to be fair, we do get chips and queso, so
Right.
I'm not thinking
maybe
of
5 or
those-
6. Maybe
See,
5
those
or
are
6.
sophisticated tacos. I'm thinking of those really like Taco Bell, like nothing.
Flat ones.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just transition away from the taco question,
Okay.
and I apologize.
That's fine. Thanks. Okay.
All right, so the last question then of the buzz line will be, besides going back to school, obviously, what is the one thing that you're probably looking forward to being able to do the most when everything is all over and
Besides coming back to school and seeing everybody, just seeing my family and hugging my family and my sisters and brothers and my parents, nieces, nephews. We talk like this over the computer just like we're all doing now, but it doesn't compare to just being in the same room with somebody
Right.
face to face. So having our gatherings, dinners, my nephew had a party the other weekend and that had to be postponed. So little things like that I think we've taken for granted, we're going to appreciate a lot more when we come
Right.
out of this. And that's something we take away from this. I think that's good.
Hmm.
I agree.
I think getting out of the house, just being able to go anywhere, because like my wife, just wants to go somewhere. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but hey, Miss O'Donnell, thank you for being our mystery
Yay! First
guest.
special guest.
You did a good job. We wish you the best on your journey. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
All right.